Here we are, walking out to the field again. I have an entire field of jewelweed growing, and every morning I go out and pick it, and usually every night when it's dry, I make a new batch of salve, and I sell it at the farmer's market that I'm a vendor at, the Willery Market in Bloomington, Indiana. And there are many things that I have not yet discovered on my property. I've only lived here 9 months, and so far I'm finding more and more things to make medicine with. So I'll be posting videos and photographs and maybe a recipe here and there, and I hope you'll have a good day. Hi, I'm Victoria Bledsoe, and I've been an herbalist for 16 years, a massage therapist for 25 years, reflexologist for 17 years, and I live out in the country, and I grow herbs and make plant medicine for people and salves, and I'd like to show you a little bit of how I put together a tincture or herbal extract and the process that I go through. Okay, so today we're gonna go through the process of making a tincture and showing you the process of how it's done, or I should say how I do it. So we're gonna do elderberries today. So I have fresh elderberries that I need to dry, but that's what they look like when they're freshly picked. And this is what they look like when they are dried. So what you do is you take your dried elderberries, and we have to basically just smush them around, and it releases the volatile oils and the plant things we need to release. You just put it in a jar, a mason jar, and then we're gonna put some alcohol in there. I just use common everyday vodka, and the vodka, or the alcohol rather, extracts the constituents out of the herb and suspends it. And then I like to use distilled water, and it's not so hard on your organs when you add a little water. So there's that, and I just get gallons of it from the store, and then so you label it with the date, the start date, the ready date, and then you always make sure you label everything. And I use 50% alcohol, 50% water, and then like a third of the jar of whichever herb, which is elderberry today. And then you put the cover on it and you succuss it, or you literally pick it up and you shake it. And every day for at least 2 weeks or longer, you have to shake your jars, and it stirs it all up so we get more surface area. So here is a finished elderberry tincture, and this one right here is macerating, which basically is in the brewing process. So what will happen is, on the ready date, I strain this a couple of times, and then I put it in the 2 or the 4 ounce bottles and put a label on it and seal it up and take it to the market. So some of the benefits of elderberries and the uses for it are for colds and flu. It can actually shorten the lifespan of a round of flu or cold, and it's antiviral, antibacterial, and it's an expectorant, anti-inflammatory, decongestant, high in vitamin C and A, and it's an immunostimulant. Okay, so after we have everything macerated or brewed and it's ready to bottle up, this one has been sitting for a while, so we're gonna use this. And with winter coming up, elderberries is really good to have in your medicine chest. So I use a glass turkey baster. I don't like plastic. I don't like the plastic leaching into my medicines. You see the rich color of the berries? And so I have 4-ounce bottles and I have 2-ounce bottles, and they come with a dropper, and the directions on how to utilize elderberry tincture is on the label. And a 4-ounce bottle will last you a good while, unless you have a large family. That back in, and then the next thing you do is you put the pipette in, tighten it up, and you take a label and put it on the bottle, and there you go. And you can seal it up with shrink bands, and then it's ready to go. And I sell these at the local farmers market and a natural food co-op. So this is dandelion root, and it's good for liver detoxification. Bloodroot, I dig up out in the woods. It's good for diabetes. Wild cherry bark goes into cough drops, cough, cold, and flu remedy. Yarrow, Alchemie Botanicals, was used in the Civil War for healing of soldiers' wounds. Lamb's ear can be used as a Band-Aid, actually. So horehound is an ingredient that goes into cough drops and cough syrups. And ginkgo biloba is for memory issues, actually expands the arteries in your brain. German chamomile for relaxation. You can use it for tea or tincture. Goldenrod is in season right now, and that can be used for many things. So here's jewelweed in its liquid form that we've harvested and processed, and we'll be bottling it up and put on the shelf for sale. Yarrow again, ginkgo biloba, wild lettuce that we've seen outside. Black cohosh is for women's issues, and mullein is for lung issues, bronchitis and such. Marshmallow root is a demulcent, and it is good for inflammation in your body, arthritis-y type stuff. Reishi mushroom, more echinacea. This is jewelweed that I picked and dried. It's ready to process into salves. So white willow bark is actually from a white willow tree, and it is for pain. That's what aspirin is made out of. Wild lettuce is for pain. Turkey tail mushroom I've harvested out of the woods. Holy basil, stress issues. Calendula skin issues. Again, more white willow bark that's in the macerating stage. Fresh turkey tail. And we have St. John's wort for women's issues. Chaga mushroom I get it from a certain birch tree. There's a big jar of lion's mane mushroom. So you see those 2 tall plants growing there? Yeah, that is wild lettuce. So I'm going to talk about that for a second. That's like opium for pain. And so I'm going to end up making a salve with that in too for topical stuff. But I sell a lot of that. I don't even have a friggin' label for it yet. Okay, so this is wild lettuce, and this is likened to opium for pain. And so what I do is I take these leaves off, and you'll see this little white substance in there. It's really sticky. And I dry this, and I harvest it and make it into a tincture, and I'll be making a salve. I believe I'm going to add comfrey to it, and it will be very, very healing. And one of the ways to identify this wild lettuce, because it has a lot of cousins, is to turn it over, and on here it'll be hard to see, but there's little prickly things, like little tiny needles on the back of the spine. Because you see that plant over there in that dish? I thought that was wild lettuce, but it's not. And so it's very similar. And then you wait for to harvest this, like when those flowers up there start turning yellow, that's when you harvest wild lettuce.
So tell me, Vicki, what do you plan on doing with this information that you want to share with people on YouTube?
I would just like to educate people and introduce them to plant medicine, and hopefully, in the long run, to get people to realize this was our original medicine before pharmaceuticals came along, and it's a much healthier option, and it's a natural option, and so our body assimilates it very well, unlike a lot of mainstream pharmaceuticals. And generally there's not many side effects. I mean, sometimes you have to watch. Like if someone's on warfarin for a blood thinner, you can't take certain tinctures because it has a negative interaction with the pharmaceutical. And like marshmallow root is my favorite herb. It's a demulcent and it gets rid of inflammation in our body, which inflammation causes pain. And the elimination of sugar and dairy from the diet can also hasten the healing process of, say, osteoarthritis, joint pain. It also gets rid of mucus in your body, which causes that inflammation. But we need to have some of the mucus in our body that protects things. And I have allergies myself, so I have to take marshmallow root every day because it gets that feeling out of my head. It feels like I have a bowling ball sitting on my shoulders, and it will actually drain the mucus, down your throat in a non-offensive way, and it doesn't have a bad taste. It's very soothing. And echinacea, the purple coneflowers, that really boosts your immune system. And my product particularly, my echinacea, I have named it Ultimate Echinacea because I use not only the roots that are older than 2 years old, I also use the flowers and the leaf, not the stem. The stem is kind of woody, has no use. So I got into herbal medicine, plant medicine basically, years ago. My first experience with it was I had a home birth, and the midwife I had gave me herbs in a glass of juice after the birth of my baby. And if I recall, it was to help my uterus shrink back to size and cause healing. So that was my first experience with liquid tinctures. And then over the years, I got introduced more and more, and I really liked it. So I took a class, and I learned way more than I ever thought that I would. My expectations were met very, very well. And so I started making my products for myself and for my family. And at my massage studio, I had soaps and tinctures there, and my clients asked questions and said, "Oh, you should make that and sell it so we could buy it." So hence, forth comes Alchemie Botanicals. And it is a painstaking process to having your own logo and making your labels and doing research. For my cough, cold, and flu remedy, it took me 4 months. I wanted to know what it was going to do for a person, children especially in the cold and flu season or for allergy season. And I wanted some things to be a decongestant, and I wanted them to be just everything for like cough, cold, and flu. And then I started making salves, and that jewelweed salve is just my baby. I have lots of it growing on my property, and I harvest it like a mad woman, and I enjoy it very much. So usually in the early mornings, I work on Alchemie Botanicals, and then in the afternoon, I go to my studio and work on bodies. And my website is, of course, www.alchemiellc.net. And alchemy is spelled A-L-C-H-E-M-I. No Y. And you can find me on Facebook under Alchemie Botanicals. join up, make friends, talk to me. So, thanks for stopping by. I hope you guys check back from time to time and see what's going on out here as we grow and prosper. Have a lovely day. So thanks for tuning in to Who's Your Tiny Planet. Hope to see you again. Bye-bye.